All right, everybody, here with Dillon again.
Hello.
We're going to do another Burmese python video. We're going to do different Burmese pythons than we did previously earlier this year. So these will be ones that at that time were either gravid or something else. This particular girl was gravid, so she wasn't on the video. So we're going to start here with Miss Infinity, who I believe is one of Dillon's favorite animals.
My favorite. This is my absolute favorite snake I own.
Yeah, this snake was actually in Dillon's wedding with him and his wife.
She was.
So she was a part of that.
She means a lot to me and her.
Yeah.
And like, she wasn't very large when I got with my wife. I've been with my wife for over 5 years now. And Infinity was probably around 2 at the time that we got together. So she's probably like in the 7-foot range,
Yeah.
8-foot range.
Now she's much larger.
She's at least 14.
Yeah, we had her stretch out earlier, and we figured she's at least 14 feet for sure, because he's got a 14-foot wall here, and she ran down the whole length of that. But she wasn't fully stretched out, so she's probably a little bit bigger than that. Go ahead, talk about her a little bit.
She's just the sweetest snake. She's never attempted to bite me. She's never thrown a strike at me. She doesn't even really hiss. She's just the perfect animal. And hypogrants have always been my favorite combo in Burmese pythons. If you follow me at all, you'll see me say hypogranate or die pretty often. And this is one project I want to get into the pied game. I think a hypogranate pied would be amazing. And just this snake alone makes that more, you know, it's just a sentimental project at that point. If I could have babies from her carrying the pied gene, it would just mean the world to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I got this snake off Charles DiStefano, who's a good buddy of mine, also an awesome burn breeder, great guy all around. And he hooked me up with her, it's been quite some time. But I raised her from a little baby, and she's perfect. She's just a perfect snake. Burmese pythons are definitely my favorite out of large constrictors. Just because they're kind of derpy, they're super laid back for the most part. You can get the asshole berm too, don't get me wrong, but
It's time for the Burm versus Cobra challenge.
they always try to dick with the
Every
cobra.
single Burm goes over there.
Always try to dick with the cobra. I don't get it. And then the cobra's up for it. She's like,
Yeah,
let me get some.
she's definitely ready.
Let me get some.
She also knows size doesn't matter in that fight. She's got a little firepower.
But yeah, like I said, this is my absolute favorite snake. Now I'm going to try and pick her up so you can get an idea of the size of this animal. She's not skinny, and she's not small. I'm 6'3". I'm a taller guy. Obviously, I'm not very thick. Ugh. I was blessed with a hell of a metabolism.
Yeah.
But this is a large animal. It's a workout. And the funny part is trying to see my wife, who's 5 foot nothing, 100 pounds, trying to work this snake, and she does. She manhandles her, and she's so sweet with her. I mean, this is a snake you don't want to piss off, that's for sure, but she doesn't have a mean bone in her body. She's just the sweetest snake. Ugh. And she's not small.
Oh,
It's
she's
a
got a
workout.
poo brewing for you.
Oh, dude, it's coming. I'm just hoping she doesn't do it like now.
Yeah.
It'd be a great video. They can see why large constrictors aren't always fun.
Yeah, right?
They have their upsides and their downs.
Gotta get the shovel out.
It's a lot of commitment, it's a lot of poo, it's a lot of food, it's a lot of cage.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna pop her back and we'll move
Yeah.
on to something new.
Yeah, you guys are looking at these cages, but these cages are smaller than what she's in. Actually, I can follow him for a second here. You can see she's got a big old cage over here.
8x3.
Yep. Which she's putting herself away in.
Which is like pretty much a minimum for an adult Burmese female.
Yeah.
Even some of the males can get this size. It's not very common, but I have a few friends with some very, very large males.
Yeah.
They're generally much older animals.
Well, that's the thing about snakes. They never stop growing. They grow their whole life. So.
As long as they're shedding, they're growing, you know?
Yep.
Just the increments are a lot smaller once they get that age.
Yeah. You guys saw her in the previous video if you watched it.
My pearl het
She
green.
was in there. So now, what are we gonna take out next? You think? Got your hook right here.
We'll do one of the caramels.
Okay.
Now this is a golf My bad. Gulf Coast caramel. There's a few different lines of caramel. There's the Way line, who's Alan Way, who does all kinds of crazy Burmese, but he's overseas. There's the Gulf Coast line. There's a few lines that are kind of in speculation right now that haven't really been proven out yet, or figured out if they are Gulf Coast or Way line.
Are they not compatible?
No, they're not compatible. So, but I don't think it's really been bred to Way yet. I know Travis says that he tried to breed it to a caramel, or a Gulf Coast caramel, and didn't get any visual caramel. So there could possibly be another line or two of caramel floating around, which is kind of cool.
Stinks because you guys can't fully appreciate these in the lighting.
No, this lighting sucks.
Yeah.
But
These are like really, really vivid, super nice pinks on the head, which doesn't really show. Just incredible, incredible looking snakes. If I had to pick a favorite Burmese morph, I know you're like definitely into your certain things, but I think caramel.
Oh, it's amazing. And
Is
there actually has been
super nice.
some cool caramel combos been made. Stephen Welge hit the caramel green granite this year, Gulf Coast line, right before Ben Rogers did the exact same thing. There was a Wayline caramel pied produced in Germany that I'm gonna leave that story go.
Nice looking animal.
Oh, it's a beautiful animal, but somebody bought it, and there's going to be a whole line of stuff that comes from it. But anyway, back to caramels. This is a T-positive albino version of a Burmese python. We just call them caramel albino because, I mean, look at them.
Yeah.
Caramely color, super pretty. And they don't have, obviously, no black like the T-negative, but they do have the really light, faded, almost purpley black. So the purples are real deep, real pretty. And then, yeah, the yellows and greens on these animals just pop. It's like a buttery, creamy, just gorgeous animals.
Yeah, I wish that I could get a good representation on film, because I'm just not.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
And it's always the nice snakes, like that. Being a blood python guy,
Yep.
you never get those reds.
No.
You never get the pinks. You never get any of that.
Reds, pinks, yellows, oranges all like to be jerks when it comes to doing that stuff. You need like really high tech equipment, and people do all kinds of stuff.
My wife's calling. Oh, where you going? Trying to
the,
fight the
it's
cobra.
the Cobra Challenge.
Trying to fight the
All have
cobra.
to do
Every
it.
one of them.
It's like a rite of passage. It's funny, we were cleaning berms earlier, and every single one had to go over there and like face to face with the cobra. And the cobra is ready for every single one of them. She's like, I can take them all out. She wants to be the king of Asia, queen.
And this is a 2.5, 3-year-old animal as well. So you can see she's not power fed. She's got a nice build to her. She probably could breed this year, but I'm not going to because I'm more age oversized with everything I own. I don't rush anything to get them up to size to breed. I'm all about age. Age is more important. I'd rather breed an older, smaller female than a younger, power-fed, disproportionate pinhead female.
Yeah, I'm the same way with my animals. I have a lot of short tails that I don't even pair up until they're 5 or 6 years
Yeah,
old.
they just
I just wait.
when it's right, you
Yeah.
know.
They'll tell you,
But
right?
we're gonna get her back, and then I'm gonna show you one of my favorite girls.
If you notice, all of them are his favorite girls.
I like girls.
Don't let him fool you. See that right there? That says otherwise.
Fuck you, Dad. Alright, so last time we did a burn video and Dan was over, we got my male pied out. My male pied's currently in shed. He's grown quite a bit since the last video, so I wish I could show him to you. But we do have one of the females here that me and my buddy Dom own. We also recently got an albino pied from John Romeo. She is not here, she's at Dom's place, but the other two are here. And this is my female pied het albino. The snake that I never thought would be a reality to own.
Now you got a trio.
Yeah, now we have 3 of them. It's crazy. As soon as I saw Alan Way have the first wild caught, I lost my mind. I knew it was something that if I ever had the opportunity to get, I had to have my hands on. And then, with everything that happened with Burmese pythons in the States, I never thought that dream would be, you know, achievable. And then we found a couple for sale, and we jumped on it. Dom came to me and asked if we should do it, and I was pushing for it hard, and we made the choice, and here we are now. Now this is, female's about 1.5 years old now. She's all over the place.
Yeah.
She's a good eater. She's also, I do feed her probably a little heavier than I would a normal female. But I don't feed her heavy at all, by any means. She just grows very well. And you'll notice that if you have a large collection of snakes, even if you hold back, say, 5-6 babies from the same clutch, stuff just grows differently sometimes. Like my T-positive Ivory, her siblings were nowhere near her size.
Metabolism, it's weird because you can base it on a species and base it on this, but they all run individual stuff. I've had clutch mates where one's 3 times the size in like a year on the same feeding schedule, and it's just
yeah, it's weird. Same meals, same feeding. Some just grow better than others.
Same caging, same conditions, you know.
And this girl actually went off food for a while for me and Dom. That's partially one of the reasons she came here, is because she went off food and was kind of throwing us off. And I have a way to whisper Burmese, so I got her over here, and then she would eat from time to time, but she would skip meals. Now she's eating great. And even that probably 2.5, 3 months that she wasn't eating, she just blew up. She caught up.
I'm not sure which one I like better, the male or her. I think I lean her a little bit, but he's in shed, so I don't know if it's fair.
She's got a nice white. I like the high white, but I don't like the too high white because the pattern on these is cool. It's not like the pied retics. You know, you still have that back white, and you still have a really nice pattern. The pied retics are kind of washed out gray, really low white. You get the white on the head, you get the white on the sides. You'll get a lot of back white. I really like the way pied ball presents itself in Burmese pythons because it's more like you would see in Python Regis ball pythons. You get that nice funky pattern where they do have pattern, and then you still get those nice white splotches. And the cool thing about pied balls in Burmese is there's just so many colors going on in the pattern. There's so much different types of pattern going on. Now in my male, it's a lot more evident because he has kind of the granity look and the grays.
That's like a classic berm right there for just a quick second, and then it's off and you're doing something else.
And it's got real busy pattern and like almost concentric webbing where there is pattern, and then you get almost washed out pattern where you get these nice golds and blacks, and then you get the grays, and there's just a lot going on with these guys.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting to see the doors this will unlock for the Burmese python community. I think it's going to do some really cool stuff. Like, look at that neck. Just like whites and grays. There's just so many colors in the snake. It's insane.
Yeah.
She's so pretty.
Yeah, I like her a great deal.
Oh, I love her. And so, yeah, that's piebald Burmese python, which is right now the project of my dreams.
Now, is the male head albino as well, or
yes?
No? Oh.
Yeah, the male's head albino. This is head albino. This is a year younger than the male.
So that gives you a lot of options to play with.
Right, and then the albino pied's the same year as her. So I wish I had the albino pied to show you guys, but we'll get there later.
Next time.
Yeah, we'll get there later. And then we're going to show you classic ivory berm. And then after this girl, we got one more to show you.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if this girl was in the previous video, although I think it was a male that used to be over
I think I got the I think last time I had the granite ivory out, the ivory granite, like almost pure white.
Yeah.
This is more your traditional two-tone, white on yellow ivory berm. This is what most ivory berms look like as they get older. They really develop into that yellow. So I don't know.
I can see it a little bit. I don't know how well it's going to show up.
What, the two-tone?
Yeah. I mean, I can see it for sure in person and a little bit on here.
Right.
I think it's enough that people will be able to see the contrast.
And it like just goes straight into there. You know, there's some washed up scales, and it's just weird how it presents.
Yeah.
White belly, white sides, and like that creamy yellow back. It's pretty cool. And then now with Burmese pythons, you can get the white or the blue-eyed ivories and the black-eyed ivories. I have one, that larger female on the bottom. She has blue eyes. That's my only ivory with blue eyes. This, all the rest, everyone I've ever hatched just had black eyes. I don't know if that's because I have ivory in the mix or what, but I've never produced blue-eyed ivory. I've only produced black eyes. This one has black eyes. My ivory granite has black eyes. And then she has blue. But this is a full sibling to that animal. She's just a year older. This one is, I believe, a 2017, 2018. And then, yeah, that one's a year older from the same parents, but she has blue eyes and this has black eyes. And then the guy that produced these gets a mix in the clutch, but I've never produced a black eye or a blue eye. So I don't know if it's different lines of hypos, and I've had conversations with a few other breeders about that. Nobody really seems to know exactly why there's a different eye color, but
Strange.
yeah, cool snakes. Cool snakes. Now this is either an ivory labyrinth or is het labyrinth. So we're gonna play around and hopefully can prove her a lab, because that would make a killer clutch. But
Yeah.
even het lab, we're still gonna be happy because she's a cool snake. And hypo labs are to die for.
That hook is sweet.
The Batman hook?
Batman hook.
Chris Woodcock. Anybody needs a good hook or some nice clothing, Venom Life gear, which is this shirt, this hat. Chris is an awesome dude, an awesome friend. He does custom-made hooks.
And that hook, I used it a
Yeah.
little. It's super lightweight but strong. It's really nice to use.
He did this Batman hook for me. He also, if anybody's familiar with Nathaniel Frank, M Toxins, he has a Venom lab in Wisconsin. He is German, and he had custom-made German hooks, which is like now a line of hooks from Chris, and they're awesome. They're also made really nice light carbon fiber. These are probably the best hooks I've ever used. They're just easy to work. They're lightweight. They you know, they're comfortable in the hand.
Yeah.
You can move them around quick.
Mine's a lot bulkier. I noticed that right away when I picked that up, but it's still just as strong.
Great hooks. But yeah, hit up Chris. Good stuff.
All right.
And we got one more to show you. This is another very special snake to me. Anybody that follows me knows that I had some issues with this snake in the last breeding season. She got egg bound, probably like 3/4 of the way, laying her clutch. We had to get her to the vet. We tried oxytocin, tried all kinds of stuff. Oh, come on, big girl. This keeps coming. And the oxytocin had no effect. We tried an enema of lube and water just to try to ease things up, but nothing worked. We ended up having to palpate the eggs out of this girl. Well, this is Greta, and she is the matriarch to my line of green Burmese, which I like to claim are the best in the country. But
They are really, really nice.
nice greens, nice
If
bright.
you guys haven't watched the previous Burmese Python video, go back and check out this handsome fella there was in it.
Gerald.
Yeah, and he's an amazing looking snake.
Bright, clean, patternless green. That's what I go for. But this snake, I have no idea how old she is. I assume she's older just by her head size. Her head's massive, size of my fist. It's a big girl. She almost has no neck. Her head's so big, you know.
Yeah.
She came to me in a trade probably 6-7 years ago, something like that. Spent some time making sure she was up to health, you know, and then started her in the breeding program. And she threw such nice greens, and now I've just been selectively breeding those greens to come up with the look that I went for. And we came out with a nice stripy, high color, low pattern green. But this is a snake that means the world to me as well. Her and Infinity are definitely my favorite Burms. And then when she got egg bound, I was so tore up.
Yeah, I remember talking to you quite a few times, even after, where you were still really worried. And
she wouldn't eat. She was just lethargic after the whole procedure. I was really worried about her. And then one day, It was like somebody flipped a switch. She just was alert. She was active, and I slid the glass on her cage, and I saw her head perk up at me, and I was like, oh man, she looks hungry. And I thought out a real small rabbit. Decided to give it a go. I didn't want to give her a big meal just because it was probably 4 or 5 months at that point. She didn't eat.
Yeah.
Between, you know, the egg process, the being gravid and laying eggs, and then being egg bound, and then so much stress from the procedure of getting the eggs out of her. She just didn't eat for at least 4.5 months. I think probably longer than that. And I thought for sure I was going to lose this snake. Which just goes to show you, everybody thinks breeding's fun and games. It's not. There's a lot of heartbreak. You'll have the highest highs in this hobby and the lowest lows that you've ever had.
Yeah.
And they can come in the same day.
Mm-hmm.
In the blink of an eye. Yeah, from the same animal, yeah. And it's kind of what happened with this girl. I adore this snake, and she's given me the most beautiful greens I've ever seen. And I've just grown really attached to her over the years, you know. I thought for sure I was going to lose her, and it really tore me up. But she's doing great now. She's eating great. She put weight back on. She's still a little flabby. I don't know if I'm ever going to attempt to breed her again. Most likely not. I just don't want to have that happen again. I was so scared for the snake. So she's probably just going to be a mascot for us now, and live out the rest of her days here. Happy, warm, with lots of food. She's a good girl.
Yeah, she really is a great snake.
She doesn't have a mean bone in her body, man. That's why I love Burmese pythons. You know, retics can be unpredictable. Rock pythons sure as hell can be unpredictable.
No, it's not true.
Scrub pythons,
Totally true.
I don't trust them at all. But Burms are, you know, they're like the perfect pet large snake.
I think the only thing that makes them dangerous at all is just when they do think something's food, sometimes they won't come off of it. So just knowing how to read their body language
I agree.
is everything. As long as you can do that, you can work with them safely.
It's definitely not a snake that you want to take a bite from, especially one this large. I don't ever anybody recommend working large constrictors alone, especially if you don't know the animal. If you're like cleaning for somebody, or I know I have when I'm on vacation, I have friends over here watching stuff. I do not recommend it. But if you got an extra set of hands, it's always safe.
For sure.
My
Yeah,
wife-
don't come in here and ruin the video.
The wife's home.
But yeah, so we'll put Greta back, and we'll end the Burmese python video there. So make sure you guys follow along on social media with Dillon, and I'll put links in there for you. We'll see you.